Welcome to our second episode of Opera 101. This opera film pairing is a comic one. The movie is Mr. Bean's Holiday, and it features the soprano aria O mio babbino caro from Puccini's Gianni. This aria and Nessun Dorma are probably the two most recognizable opera arias that exist. Opera synopsis.
Gianni Schicci is also a comedy and tells the story of the wealthy Bozo Donati who has died and, much to the dismay of his greedy relatives, has left his fortune to the church. Rinuccio, the young tenor, proposes that Gianni Schicchi, the father of his girlfriend Lauretta, may be able to help them.
So Schicchi is disgusted by the hypocrisy of the relatives and decides to leave, until Lauretta tells him of her intentions to marry Rinuccio. Schicchi then agrees to help, comes up with a plan to impersonate Bozo Donati, sick in bed, and dictates a new will. But as the relatives each wait with anticipation to hear what they are getting, Schicchi leaves the fortune to himself. Movie synopsis.
Mr. Bean enters a raffle and wins a trip to Cannes, along with a video camera to record his travels. But of course, because he's Mr. Bean, his trip doesn't go as smoothly as he may have hoped, and he experiences one mishap after another. One such mishap is being inadvertently left with a Russian movie director's son, Stepan, who ends up being his partner in crime for the rest of the movie. Eventually, he ends up sabotaging a premiere at the Cannes Film Festival, where the video footage from his trip replaces the original film footage.
Movie scene. Mr. Bean and Stepan get off the train to call Stepan's father. But once they are back on the train, they see that Mr. Bean's passport and wallet are still in the telephone booth. They are thrown off the train, and Mr. Bean tries his hand at busking in order to make them some money to buy bus tickets to Cannes.
He pretends to sit and play Mozart at an imaginary piano. He does some air guitar to rock music, and then dances to Shaggy, who, by the way, I saw in concert last year. But no one stops to watch. When he begins to dramatically lip sync O mio babbino caro, however, he draws a cheering crowd who enthusiastically throws coins at his performance.
And in the opera, Lauretta actually sings the aria to her father, pleading with him to let her marry Rinuccio. She sings that if her love were to be in vain, she would go and throw herself off the Ponte Vecchio bridge in Florence into the Arno River. When Mr. Bean reenacts the aria, however, he grabs the young Stepan at the end and holds him in his arms as if the boy were dying, and then lays him on the ground and pretends to die beside them. So they did get the death part right.
So Leanne, we had a few conversations about this while we were preparing this series, and I think it would be great to hear from our audience as well. When arias are taken out of context in pop culture, we want to know from you, does it hurt or help opera's reputation, do you think?
Yeah, it's a good question. And there's so many examples of opera's most popular arias used in popular culture, like in The Muppets with Beaker me-me-meing the melody of Carmen's Habanera, with the Swedish chef singing the accompaniment in the background, which I will not do for you, but please go look this up on YouTube. And opera arias are also used in many commercials.
Like the Pepsi commercial with Beyonce, the Queen, dressed as Carmen, singing the Habanera with English lyrics, of course. And the famous tenor aria from Verdi's Rigoletto, La Donna Mobile, is used in all kinds of commercials.
Yes, there's one for Lego's tomato sauce, one for scrubbing bubbles with an animated bubble singing the tune with different lyrics, and quite an entertaining Doritos Super Bowl ad involving a grandma and a baby and a slingshot. So take a journey down the inevitable YouTube rabbit hole and look these up. And there are also lots of examples of pop songs that are inspired by classical music melodies. Canadian rocker and producer Randy Bachman did 2 great episodes on his CBC radio show called The Vinyl Tap. And these 2 episodes were called Classically Inclined. And they feature some of these tunes. So one of the most well-known examples is the Neapolitan song O Sole Mio that inspired Tony Martin's There's No Tomorrow, which in turn inspired Elvis Presley's It's Now or Never. Come hold me tight, kiss me, my darling, be mine tonight. Always a diva, takes every opportunity to sing. So, if you've heard opera somewhere in pop culture or somewhere out of context, please share it with us by commenting on any of Edmonton Opera's social media platforms.
As Leanne mentioned earlier, Lauretta sings this aria, O mio babbino caro, pleading with her father to let her go and buy a ring so she can marry her love Rinuccio. As a daddy's girl who has him wrapped around her little finger, she's pretty sure he'll say yes, so this aria is just a formality.